I'm going to call the meeting to order. Would you all please stand and join me in this flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the agenda show, or the record show, that Dr. McNeil is not here this evening. And I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Do I need to adopt it with the exception now? I will entertain a motion for someone to adopt the agenda minus item A under instruction.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. On to the consent agenda. All of the following items, those items of a routine nature normally approved at a board meeting, will be approved by one vote unless any board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of these items. The consent agenda consists of the discussion, consideration, action on the following items A through R.
Move for approval. Second.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Okay, on to USPA reports. A representative tonight? No. UCTA report. Ms. Gunter is here.
President Romerman, Dr. Federline, and members of the board, I'm happy to report that our building concerns are considerably down from the past few years. So thank you, we appreciate that. UCTA is also participating in the OEA Civication Dinner on January 30th. Our zone is hosting a dinner for members to have dinner with legislators from our area, from the Union area, and just sit down and talk with them, hear what they're bringing up this year in the legislation. We also wanted to let you know that we appreciate the early notification for the snow day. That was great. And we appreciate being back in person for the Teacher of the Year celebration. That meant a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gunter. All right, and now we will move on to a district attendance update from Dr. Nelson.
President Romerman, Dr. Federline, board members, thank you for allowing me to present to you some information about our progress on attendance. I'm going to talk about two ways that we are monitoring attendance very regularly. That is through average daily attendance, which the district last year was at 90%. We're trying to finish the year at 93% this year as a district. And then chronic absenteeism, which is that rate we're trying to bring down from 30% of our students to 23% of our students this year. So where we are as of January 9th, our average daily attendance is at 92%. And this time last year, it was at 91.5%. So we're making progress this year toward our goal, and we continue to have challenges, of course, today being another one of those days when it's so cold that some of our students may not come to school. The chronic absentee rate, as of the end of December, this we do a month at a time because of the complications in calculating it. It was at 25.3 as of the end of December last year. We have it down to 24.2 as of the end of December this year. So you can see that we are making progress. We're not quite at our goals. And at Union, of course, you know, we make ambitious goals, so it stretches ourselves. And at the school level, all kinds of strategies and initiatives, incentives, communication efforts to students, to parents, extra contacts. Our principals are leading teams of people, beginning with teachers and others, to intervene in between, and oftentimes then in the most challenging cases our building leaders themselves will try to address the situations at the district level. We have a district level team that meets on a quarterly basis. So there are lots of efforts. Attendance has always been important to us, but we've made a special effort to double down on those attendance strategies. And the work began, of course, in the summer, and then working with school level teams and the district level team through the year to make a difference. I would like to point out a few highlights here. On average daily attendance, the 6th, 7th grade center is up over 0.5%. 8th grade center almost 0.6%. Grove at 0.76. And our two shining stars, as of right now, they're all competing, of course. The freshman academy up over a percentage point in the high school, topping it off at a 1.22% increase in percentage points, actually. I like to be mathematically accurate on that, as you know. And then with regard to the chronic absentee rate, these are the leaders in terms of bringing it down more, just over 1.5 points. The high school over 2. Jefferson, a little over 2.5 percentage points down. Anderson, almost 3 percentage points down. And at this point, as of last month, the 8th grade center over 3 percentage points down, and Grove almost 4 percentage points down. And so we're really proud of the work and the effort that is happening at the site levels and getting word out to parents and students alike that it's really important to be here. You must be present to win, and that is educationally winning, of course, we're talking about. So any questions about the data, the progress, the efforts?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody that helped make this happen. All right, we will move on to hearings and correspondence. Do we have anything under communication? Do not. All right, then we will move on to the business agenda under item B for school operations. Consider and take action to accept the bid and award the bid for copiers, printers, and print management to Sumner One from bond funds. Mr. Morris.
Thank you, President Romerman, Dr. Federline, members of the board. This is just a bid that we did, or a request for proposals that we did for printers, also establishing a relationship to have a management system to cover all our printers and copiers. And the bid was awarded to, as you can see, I believe it was Summer One is the name of the company. And this will allow us to streamline how we do our print management and copier management, along with the copiers and those supplies.
Any discussion? A motion.
Move for approval. Second.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Item number 2, a presentation of Internet protocol in compliance with the Child Internet Protection Act, and consider and take action to authorize the superintendent or designee to sign any subsequent E-rate documents with the exception of any contract with financial obligations.
Yes, this is our yearly E-rate requirement. As you know, E-rate provides us a lot of funding in regards to our technology, in regards to our internet access. And part of it is we have to meet the Child Internet Protection Act, which means we need to filter all our internet content. We have moved to LineWise for all our student and district computers are on this LineWise filtering, which allows us to filter the computer not only on our network, but also when the student is away from school. It actually provides the filtering when they're on their own internet. And here on site, we also have still have our Fortinet firewall, which filters our internet for people on their personal devices when they're on our network. So we are meeting that HIPAA compliance through those items.
Any discussion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
Item number 3, Consider take action to accept the bid for the roof replacement at high school, section 678, and award the contract to Oklahoma Roofing and Sheet Metal LLC in the amount of $900,500 from bond funds. Mr. Isaacs.
Yes, President Romerman, Dr. Federline, members of the board, good evening. This is another one of our roofing improvement projects that we've been doing over the past several years. It's the same roofing standard that we've been using. We like that specification. Essentially what it's going to do is going to replace several of the middle sections of the high school. They're old. They're almost 30 years old in some areas. The insulation value is pretty low. The insulation on some of those roofs is actually 1 inch in thickness. When we do these projects, we go up and take samples and corings of the roof just to see where we have to go for insulation value, because it's real important. So with this roofing project, we're going to tear off the existing areas, put on new insulation, repair any of the decking, and put on the new waterproofing membrane. And when we're done, we'll have about 5 inches of insulation that takes the roof to the modern insulation value of about R30. We really see the difference in terms of what happens in that building because of the usage of the chiller and the way that it heats. It's a lot better than it used to be. We're not totally finished with the building, but we're working our way across the roofs. So this is just one area. We'll probably do this, we will do this summer. We like to bring it now so we can get the materials staged and have enough meetings with the contractor that they're on board and ready to go about June 1st. So, with
So
your,
how much of how much will be left that's still needs to be done?
I would say probably about 30% of, and that's usually all the roof to the south and the PAC of the high school. That's what'll be left. So, it's a big building. It's almost 1 million square feet. So,
Move for approval?
Second.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Item number 4, consider and take action to accept the bid for the district-wide RTU replacement and award the contract to American Air Conditioning of Tulsa LLC in the amount of $1,699,000 from bond funds.
yes, ma'am. This is a district-wide air conditioning replacement project. So we're going to replace about 65 rooftop units throughout the district. These rooftop, you see these rooftop units, where they're being used, they're single zone units, so they usually just air condition or heat a classroom or a specific space. But we have quite a few of them. We have a lot of them. So this is just, kind of touching the surface a little bit on what happens with RTUs. Some of the big schools are going to be affected are Jefferson, Moore, Rosa Parks, and the 8th grade center. With your approval, we'll probably start this project right away and get these units ordered, and where we can put them and place them, we will. It doesn't take too long to set one of them. It takes about a day to get one set, get one taken off and set, and then hooked up and air conditioning or heating. So, but it's pretty expansive project, but we're covering a lot of areas of the district with it. We have a lot of air conditioning. So.
Will we have to wait for summer for this, or just as soon as we get it?
No, ma'am, we're going to start right away. There's areas that we can work, we will, and then when we can't, we'll do it after hours or after school hours. So,
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Thank you. All right. Item number 5, consider and take action on future purchases using the current job order contract previously approved with 357 Inc., DBA Rico Construction, in the amount of $250,000 from various funds.
yes, ma'am, this is our job order contract. We've had this contract in place for a few years. It's a contract where you basically bid the means guide, construction values, and then we take the low factor, the general contractor with the lowest factor basically wins the bid. It's done nationally. It's been in place for about 30 years. We just started using it about 3 years ago. We've had a lot of success with it. We've been able to do a lot of small projects that are very time consuming. When you think about it, for me or Josh or Tony, a $30,000 project that we have to do or a $15,000 project takes almost as much time as a $2 million project. It's just the time doesn't change on them. So this helps us with that, and we get a lot of coverage done and get a lot of smaller jobs done, and it's still a competitive process. So With the increase now, we're just planning work that we might be able to do in the next few months. We're going to rebid this project probably in June, or this contract, this job order contract in June, and have updated values for the means guide. We have to actually rebid it in June, so we'll be ready to go with the new fiscal year in July. So with your approval tonight, we'll continue to use it.
Move for approval.
Second.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well.
Thank you.
Mr. Isaacs. All right, under personnel, consider and take action on the 24-25 early retirement incentive program for certified and administrative employees. Mr. Levering.
President Romerman, Dr. Federline, members of the board. This is just an update to the ERI program. Everything is actually just as it was presented previously, with addition of one administrator with Dr. Federline's approval. Nothing else has changed. Here at the end of January, all the members will have make their decision whether or not they're going to remain on ERI. So we will come with a final thing. If anything changes, we will bring that back. If not, then this would be the final. But they have until the end of January to make their decision whether or not to remain on ERI. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Move for approval.
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Thank you. Item number 2, consider and take action on the proposed designation system for the Union Public Schools Teacher Empowerment Program. Ms. Calvin.
Yes. Good evening, Mrs. Romerman, Dr. Federline, members of the board. This is real exciting. I am requesting your approval for the Union Public Schools Teacher Empowerment Program. I am going to try to give you the Reader's Digest version because I know the attachment in your agenda is very long. But in 2022, the legislature approved the Oklahoma Teacher Empowerment Program. At the time, there was a matching fund component of the program. And along with all of the other surrounding districts, we decided not to participate. It was too cost prohibitive. The legislature changed that in May of '24. They removed the matching funds. And so this past fall, we had cabinet discussion and decided that we needed our union teachers to have the opportunity. So in a nutshell, the purpose of this program is to allow teachers to elevate their professional growth and pay. The funds allow districts to identify and designate up to 10% of our excellent teachers as advanced, lead, or master teachers, and that would be about 100 teachers for union. Excuse me. The identified teachers would receive between $3,000 and $10,000 based on their designation, and a one-time stipend in addition to the $3,000 to $10,000 of $1,500 to $5,000 due to teaching in a high free and reduced school, which all of our schools are. So in your packet, you'll see that we have the awards based on advanced, lead, and master. Along with the award would come some additional workday requirements between 5 and 15 days, depending on the designation. So the teaching and learning team put this program together. So what you're looking at is Union's proposed program. We did look at some other districts. We looked at Glenpool, Bixby, Owasso, and Oklahoma City. Some of their programs have already been approved by the Oklahoma State Board of Education. So pending our approval, tonight your approval, we would then send it to the State Board of Education for approval. Based on what we have seen approved by the State Board, we feel that we have an outstanding program. In fact, out of the ones we've read, we really feel like this one is the best program. So the if you will go ahead and look at your handouts, you can see that there is some required criteria for teachers to meet. And so this is written in the bill that the teachers would need to meet the requirements before they would apply. So that includes teaching certificate and experience, their evaluation results, and student performance. And so we know that for each individual teacher's student performance will look differently per subject and per grade level. And we will work with the teacher to provide the documentation that needs to be provided. And so should a teacher meet these requirements, then they may fill out the application, and then we have also attached the rubric. This is a rubric that is specific to Union Public Schools, taking into consideration teacher attendance, professional development, awards and recognitions, teacher leadership, and teacher mentorship. The final rubric score will determine the designation and the additional days that they will work. I'm pausing for just a moment. This is quite a bit of information. So should a teacher meet the minimum requirement for a higher designation, but their rubric does not meet that higher designation, the rubric score will stand first. So let's say they're looking at the minimum criterion and they would potentially be able to be a master teacher, which is the highest level, but they don't have the rubric score on the attachment that would allow them, then they would meet let's say they had 10 points, they would be an advanced teacher. Okay. Teachers will apply yearly. So this is not a designation that will stand from year to year. They may apply yearly as long as the state provides the funding. So if teachers apply this year and they receive the award, they would be required, if the funding is available, to apply next year to maintain the award. So the process would be, once pending your board approval, we'll send it to the State Department, and we feel very comfortable in sending the application to the teachers with your approval so they can begin looking at the process and begin looking at the application. We will have a separate website that they will submit electronically their application and the attachments, and we have an area where they can ask questions. Because this is a new program, we know that there will be a lot of questions, and they'll be able to go back to the portal and look at the responses. Do you have any questions?
So is teaching and learning, I'm sorry. Is teaching and learning then going through the rubric for each application? Is that
Yes,
the committee?
teaching and learning along with human resources.
Is this similar to like national board certification?
It's a little bit similar, and so I will say for the teachers that have gone through the national board certification, there is a lot to put together and a lot of research and data that they have to, over a course of time, put together. The intent of this is to really keep classroom, as an incentive to keep classroom teachers in the classroom, but a little bit similar.
Could you be both?
You could.
I mean, theoretically, if
Yes.
if you're board certified, you
Absolutely.
probably are
Absolutely.
already here. The classifications of advanced, lead and master, are those also our classifications or those state classifications?
Those are written in the law.
But then we're given the job of determining what that means and how.
That
to
is
submit
correct.
those.
That is correct.
Okay. what do we do if half of our teachers apply for it?
So if you will look at, there is a slide, it says UPS Teacher Empowerment Rubric. There are 4 bullets, so it has the total scores. So the rubric score 10 to 12 is advanced, then it has the lead and the master. There are 4 bullets. So look at the third bullet. If more than 10% of certified teaching staff qualify, priority will be given first to classroom teachers, then the rubric score, years of experience at Union, years of experience total, and student performance.
That's going to be interesting for you all. Are you?
We are ready because we want our teachers, we want 10% of our teachers to get this award.
Any idea what the timing is from the state for approval and when we would be able to enact this?
So we are hoping to get approval this spring, and we want to be able to, that's partially why we are going to go ahead and, should you approve this plan, immediately send out the application and this PowerPoint to the teachers so they can start working on it. We realize that they need to know as quickly as possible so that they can start planning for, should they receive the designation, start planning for the additional days they'll have to work. And the additional days need to be completed by June 30th.
So we are hoping to enact this for this school year.
Oh, yes, yes. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That is this school year.
Okay.
And then hopefully again next year and the next year. We want to keep our teachers.
So moving forward, can this process be like in July or August so they have the whole year?
Yes, we have discussed that because we will do this first semester, and potentially if we have not identified 10%, we can roll it out again second semester. We can offer it to the teachers twice, but only recognize 10%.
Okay. The same person can't get it both semesters.
That is correct.
Okay.
I want you to ask
I was trying to
questions.
think, too. So if it's starting, you're saying now, 'cause I keep looking at the annually, so it's for the previous year, but you're saying, because we're just trying to figure out when it actually launches, how far back or when does that point begin?
Okay, so it would be to acknowledge the teachers that are working this year, and we will look at, within the rubric, we will have to look at their TLE score from last year. So hence goes, when in the rubric scoring, we have the years of experience. So they have to have a minimum of 3 years' experience, including this year, and 2 of the 3 being in Union.
So this year can be their 3rd year.
Correct.
And they qualify.
Correct. Once again, we held the chalk for that, and we just want to keep as many and make this available to as many teachers as possible.
What were I assume this was a committee.
Teaching and learning, and we worked with human resources and finance, and then, of course, cabinet and Dr. Federline.
What were the priorities in setting, I'm trying to think of how to word this. How did we come upon this rubric? Is it equitable across subject matters, schools, the grades, right? Like, can you explain that process to me just a little bit?
Yes, so the State Department did put out some samples for us to look at. We had some requirements in this that we had to meet first. And in looking at the other districts, I won't name districts, but one of the programs that we looked at, they made the decision by position of who would receive the award. For example, instructional coaches or language arts specialists. And the intent of the law, after reading the law numerous times, is to award and keep classroom teachers in the classroom. And that was very clear to us as we wrote this. And we know that classroom teachers all have different content and different ways of assessing their students. So there will be guidance and freedom for all teachers to provide the supporting documentation. Our goal is not to keep a gatekeeper, to have gatekeepers, but we had to have the minimum requirements. Just as a note, I did present this to Carrie and Dina and allowed for questions too, and they're excited to give teachers opportunity.
We're excited for the opportunity too. We just want to
Absolutely.
hear a little bit more about the process and the practical application.
We do know that there will be questions that because this is new to us, and so that's why we have a number of eyes on it. And the FAQ open questions, we will gather regularly to discuss the questions coming in and making certain that we treat this fairly.
I'm also going to assume that as we roll it out and as you and your departments work through it, you'll probably find, kinks and issues that you didn't think about ahead of time.
We expect that.
Does the law give us room to flex in and out of this on an annual basis and decide what works and doesn't work, or if it's not doing what we'd hoped it would do?
That's an interesting question. The law actually allows for us to hold the chalk on most of the items, to make the decisions. Once we have our list of teachers, that's when Dr. Federline will submit the list of teachers to the State Department for final approval. But as we go through the process, there will be clarity, and I know we'll have questions.
But you feel like there's sufficient room in here to make those decisions?
I do. Team?
Would any of that changes, anything like that, need to come back to the board? Just an annual base?
Yeah, if we made a change for next year, we might have to bring it. It's not very clear in the law.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, was kind of what we're asking too, is if it's not very clear and we do identify something, does that need to come back to the board before the annual? That's what I'm asking.
Definitely. If we were going to make a major change in our process, we would want you to be aware of that and approve the changes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. If we change it, does it have to get reapproved at the state level?
I'm going to assume that it would.
You can say it louder.
Yeah, you have to say it into the microphone.
Move for approval. Is that loud? Is that okay?
Second.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Norman?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any new business? Federline? Got anything?
We here? I do there, not new business.
Okay. Let's move on to opportunities for comments from the board. Mr. Federline?
I want to just take a moment. This is National School Board Appreciation Month, and I wanted to speak for everyone here and everyone in the district to thank all of you for what you do. These are volunteer positions, and they require a great amount of work and thought and time, and we greatly appreciate you. The actions and the things before you every month that you do such a good job of considering and taking action on, these are the things that help our district to progress in a forward manner, and we could not do it without you. And speaking for all 2,000 employees and almost 15,000 students and our community members, thanks to all of you. We appreciate you.
And we have someone else to congratulate in our community as well, don't we? This week? That happened on Friday? Congratulations to our new Teacher of the Year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Corey Allen, Teacher of the Year from Anderson. It was a great celebration, and appreciate those of you that could make it, and everyone that worked so hard in planning that as well. So it was fantastic. Nice to be back in person.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move for approval. Motion.
Second?
Ms. McAdams?
Yes.
Mr. Reyes?
Yes.
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
The chair votes yes as well. We are adjourned.